Why do people care about our bodies so much? Like, are you entertained by this person? Are you enlightened by this person? Are you inspired by this person? So who cares what the scale says or what the tags say on their clothes? It doesn't matter.
If you are shaming yourself into losing weight or to changing your body, there is no point you get to where you are happy with the way you look.
You're never gonna please everyone. And if you try to please when you're trying to please one person, there's another person that can be made unhappy. And that's a weight you can't carry.
Have you ever wanted to do something that everyone said you shouldn't do? And if you did do, that you were doing it the wrong way anyway? That's what happened to Andy Neal when he decided to intentionally lose weight with the help of GLP-1s while being a creator in the body positive space online. Welcome to the Happiness and Progress podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Craig. I'm an Emmy award-winning journalist, international speaker, mom, wife. Andy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I have wanted to talk to you and have you here on the podcast for years, so I'm really excited that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been wanting to be on for years. It's never worked out. I've been following you since before like people knew who I was, so it feels kind of surreal right now.
Oh my gosh, isn't that exciting? It's exciting because it has been really fun to watch your journey from my perspective and the growth. And also, in the beginning of that journey, how frustrating it is to try to grow and have those setbacks. And I remember watching that being like, just keep going. You got this. It's going to be
Yep.
okay. And here you are. You got it.
I I got something. I don't know. It's been quite the journey. Just doing my thing, and it really kind of was unexpected how all this happened. It wasn't the way I would have picked it out. It wasn't the way I would have chosen, but it's been really cool. It's been amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'll have to have you back on so we can just talk about that journey itself because it's an emotional journey to become an influencer,
Yes.
to get people's attention. I mean, attention itself is currency. That's a lot. And so we'll have to have that conversation another time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I want to talk to you today about is just this obsession our community, our world, our culture has with bodies.
hmm
And it's interesting because I grew up in it. This is all I know is kind of my sentiment. And like, how can I unlearn all of this conditioning around bodies and what's a good body, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For you, as you've been going through a weight loss journey on this very public platform of body positivity, what has been maybe the most surprising thing you've learned about people's reaction to bodies and weight loss?
As I've been going through this, a little background, I went viral as, the fat guy going for a hike. Was very much all about, body positivity, all bodies belong outside. And I'm still that way. All bodies belong in fitness spaces, plus size model as like Columbia Sportswear was rolling out their plus size gear and clothes. I was their main male model for about a year there. I literally have spoken at body positivity conferences. And then I decide for various reasons, I was 400 pounds. I'm like, I don't like being 400 pounds anymore. I've gotten into hiking, gotten into fitness. I've been doing all these things. I can't seem to lose weight. I can't seem to get any smaller. So I went on a GLP-1, which, that's Ozempic, because it was that bound, everything you hear about. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. And the most surprising thing is how just everyone seems you're not going to make anyone happy with your choice for your body.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been so surprising. Everyone has an idea of what you should do. And maybe that worked for them. Maybe they had a friend that worked for them, or maybe they tried the thing you're doing and it didn't work for them. So they have very, very strong opinions about it. And a lot of people aren't shy about telling you that. And it's funny because when I got into, modeling and plus size modeling and being a, body positivity advocate, speaking at these conferences, I had a lot of people from like the fitness spaces, like, oh, you're lazy, you're this, you're that, you're promoting obesity,
Oh my
you're making
gosh.
obesity okay. And now on the other side of that, um, the a lot, not all, but there's a lot of body positivity folks who are saying, I can't believe you would betray this community. I can't believe you would go on one of those drugs and do this. You engage in intentional weight loss, that you've betrayed us all. You were speaking lies before. What are you doing? And I just had to get to the point where I was okay with my journey, because
Mm-hmm.
nothing I said before was untrue and nothing I'm saying now is untrue. This is my journey. It's my body. And, you know, nothing I say now is untrue. This is my journey. It's my body. And, nothing I'm saying now is untrue. This is my journey. It's my body. And, nothing I say now is untrue. This is my journey. It's my body. And, nothing I say now is untrue. This is my journey. It's my body. And I know I need to do what's best for me. That journey in body positivity, learning to accept my body and go out and do hiking and a lot of cool stuff at 400 pounds, I wouldn't change any of that. But now I know like there's things I want to go do that at 400 pounds I couldn't do. My body wouldn't let me do it for various reasons. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. And not only that, before I had high blood pressure, fatty liver, kidney issues, sleep apnea, all gone.
Yeah, wow.
I'm down 116 pounds now. It's like, and people get very upset about it. And what's funny is even like the fitness side of the internet are now saying, "Oh, you just copped out. You're being lazy. You didn't do the hard work." I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
really? Okay. Are you new here? So
It's
like,
like there's just like no way to make everybody happy. And so making people happy with your decisions cannot be part of your equation.
you have to do what's best for yourself, and that's what the point I had to get to is I need to do what I know what's best for me and my family. And I consulted my family with this, my therapist, my physician, and was like, okay. And also there was the worry about my own personal brand. I built a brand off being the fat hiker. And what is that going to do? Am I going to lose followers? And you never want to make decisions about losing followers, but when that's your livelihood,
Hmm.
like that's how you make an income, um, it was stressful, and it's actually been quite the opposite. I've had more opportunities now, more things to be able to provide for my family. Not only that, I have more energy now, so I was able to restart my podcast. I was able to start doing YouTube again, and whereas before I just didn't have the energy for those things. And it's opened up so many doors. And my message is still that all bodies are beautiful, that everybody belongs in outdoor and fitness spaces, but it's your body and you have to really answer to yourself and do what's best for you.
Yeah, it's body autonomy. I think that
Yes.
for me is somebody messaged me, they sent me a DM and they were like, "Are you okay with people losing weight after they intentionally losing weight after they've had a pregnancy?" And I was like, "That's not any of my business.
Hmm.
My business, the only thing like the ground I stand on is they get to make a decision about their own body." And I was kind of struck by that. You said everybody was not everybody, but people are not shy about telling you what they think about your body. And I think maybe that's where to start is like maybe we just need to reframe this. Oh, it's okay to talk about someone's body if they're
Hmm.
pregnant, if we're worried about their health, if maybe that's where it starts is we just need to like stop talking about people's bodies.
It's none of their business. And I've been in spaces where I was literally I got flown out to Baltimore with this big time fitness YouTuber back in November, where we had a debate between is being obese a choice, is being fat a choice.
Mm.
And on one side of the debate, there was these fitness influencers. The other side of this debate was these, plus size influencers. And one of the fitness influencers was literally saying, fat shaming's good thing. Fat shaming's important. We need to fat shame people to get them to do it. And it's like, do you not realize the damage that you're doing and that obesity and being fat is a complicated, nuanced thing. And you trying to fat shame people actually probably perpetuates the problem
Mm-hmm.
because you're not telling someone who's overweight, fat, obese, whatever word you want to use, you're not telling something they don't already know. They know that. And for me, I had to get to the point where I was okay with who I was despite what my body was, big or small. And that's a journey that took therapy and counseling and just a long time. And I think once I became okay with who I was and I was happy with who Andy was, I was able to be like, okay, so I love hiking. I want to go hike. I want to go to Utah and hike the slot canyons of Escalante. I can't fit through the slot canyons of
Mm.
Escalante, but I want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to need to get smaller. I want to hike the Oregon section of the Pacific Crest Trail. I've hiked, 20-mile days in a, 400-pound body, which is pretty dang good. But to do that,
Wild.
for
That's
six
amazing.
for 6 weeks, like uh, I figured out as I was training for that, I can't sustain that, and I'm not losing weight by doing all this training. So I need to figure something else out. And that's when I went on, talked to my doctor, and we started taking GLP-1s, and it's been uh, it's been amazing. And one thing that I was talking to my therapist about this, I was going through all the benefits since I started taking the drugs, and he said it sounds like even if you didn't lose any weight, the fact that your blood pressure is better, that all your body aches are gone, that You don't have sleep apnea anymore. If you just had a medication that took all those things away and you were still the same size, you probably would have taken it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
The weight loss, it's it's an added bonus, definitely. And it's bringing its whole new set of problems. I've had to change my wardrobe. I'm on my second round of wardrobe changing, like completely
Wow.
since June, which gets expensive.
Yeah.
And so, then there's the issues you got to deal with, like loose skin and things like that. And it's it's a whole new set of problems, but at the same time, I feel better and I'm able to do more things. And I just want people to know and understand it's their body. It's bodily autonomy.
Yeah.
And what's even funnier is I've had plus size influencers and celebrities message me and said, "Thank you for sharing. I can't share because my management team won't let me, or I'm afraid of how much kickback I'll get back online." Like literally, like if I said the names,
Wow.
everyone would recognize them. And it's just like, why? Why do people care about our bodies so much? Like, are you entertained by this person? Are you enlightened by this person? Are you inspired by this person? So who cares what the scale says or what the tags say on their clothes? It doesn't matter. And when I started sharing about this journey online, when I had celebrities messaging me saying, "Thank you. I haven't been able to share." People are starting to notice this, that. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow, this is something we as a society we have to deal with. When I think the last study I read, almost 20% of all adults in the United States right now have taken or are on these medications of some sort or kind. So we just have to come to grips with
Wow.
this.
You know what? There's so much. I was trying to think of why is there so much secrecy, when you're talking about these public personas. And I
Hmm.
think it all is all surrounded by shame. So we talked about body shame in general, like let's shame someone into losing weight.
Yep.
I don't even know what the point of that is. And then there's just so much shame about the way you lose weight. You have to lose
Hmm.
weight the perfect way. It's like really interesting. It's like an impossible set of standards. Who set up these impossible set of standards? You must lose weight this certain way. You have to weigh this much. That's that's bizarre.
It is the weirdest thing. I think especially for our generation, we grew up in the 90s. There was this, size zero,
Yeah,
Gap
like
commercials,
double zero.
double zero, Abercrombie, what else? Like all these, Hollister, all these
Oh,
brands that,
yeah.
small, tiny bodies, and you're just like, oh, that's what I want to aspire to. And it has caused a lot of eating disorders and body dysmorphia and a lot of just pain and discontent for men and women. And I think it's a lot of people don't talk about is how much men struggle with this as well, except we're just supposed to, push it down and not talk about it. Um, and I've had so many men message me and say, I didn't know it was okay to be discontent with my body or to feel out of place in my body. I didn't know that it was okay,
Mm,
or that men even had eating disorders. But when you talk about having your eating disorder, like, oh my gosh, I have that. I didn't even know. I've literally had guys message me say, I didn't know men could have eating disorders. And I'm like, oh my
Andy.
God, like
Oh my
what
gosh.
we're doing as a society around bodily autonomy is absolutely tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The body shame thing. I want to go back to this because I'm thinking about it. If you are shaming yourself into losing weight or to changing your body, there is no point you get to where you are happy with the way you look.
you won't. Yeah, absolutely. You, I talked about this on a video a few days ago, actually, where body dysmorphia. I'm objectively, I'm 126 pounds smaller. I'm in a smaller body. My clothes are fitting better. You see it in my face. You see it, and it's like I'm getting there. I'm at the lowest weight I've been since I think I was 19. Like
Mm,
I've always been big, and now more than ever, I look in the mirror and I'm like, ooh, and I have to unlearn like those old ways of thinking about it. And I have to continually be okay with myself because you're right. You're never going to get to the point where you're going to be content and happy with your body. I know so many bodybuilders or fitness gurus who they go on this journey and it's never enough.
mm-hmm.
They're never happy. And that really comes to just loving yourself and loving who you are and being content with yourself and having people around you who will affirm you in that. Um, Not saying we shouldn't strive to improve ourselves in ways, but there comes a point where you're never going to meet those standards that society puts forth. You're never going to be looking like your favorite influencer or celebrity. It's just not going to happen because they're not you and you're not them. And you need to know what works best for you and what's healthy for you. And it's tough, especially when you're in a front facing, public facing, I mean, a public facing job where your job is to be in front of people. You want to look your best, and no matter what you do, people are going to say stupid stuff. They just are.
Yeah.
You could be at top physical condition, and people are going to say, "Oh, he's too skinny," And I get that a lot too. Like, "Oh, don't get too skinny now, Andy." And I'm like, "Just let me be." Like,
Yeah, let's just like I can't even believe that people are observing other people's bodies to the extent that they are.
mhm.
What works for you? If someone finds themselves like I've been beating myself up for years because I don't look this whatever way I wanted to look. I don't love my body. I don't even know the first step to starting to love my body and love myself, love the skin I'm in. What has worked for you in this journey?
I think it started off with finding community, and for me, I started getting into the body positivity spaces during COVID. I started hiking and just finding out that there are other people who look like me who were engaging in these activities, who were engaging in hiking in the outdoors and in fitness spaces. And I got really lucky. So I started posting around that same time a lot. And then people from Columbia Sportswear reached out like, hey, and this is before I went viral. We like what you're doing. We need some plus size models for our line. And then I discovered more people. Not everybody can do that. I got really lucky, but finding community where I knew I wasn't alone was so important. Realizing that I'm not the only person who's struggling with these struggles, who's struggling with eating disorder, who's struggling with feeling comfortable in his own body. And once I found community and there were other people around me who could sympathize and empathize with what I was going through, I got to the point where I could learn to be okay with me. And that is so empowering and so freeing. And to be able to like look at a picture of yourself and be like, I like what I see. I like the person who's there. And have people in your community say the same thing. It's so freeing. I think another step too is get rid of those voices that are telling you otherwise. I know sometimes it's family and you can't always do that, but if you're following a bunch of fitness influencers who are making you feel like crap, unfollow them. Um, and your continue thing is the algorithms are so tricky. You follow those people because you like their workout routines, and then it puts you down this rabbit hole where you're seeing more and more of that content. You're engaging with it, you're watching it, it sends you more, it makes you feel worse about yourself. I mean, there are internal documents at some of the social media companies saying how the social media companies know that what they're putting forth in their algorithms are harmful to people with eating disorders. They know this,
Yeah.
but they want people to watch so they can sell you more things. It's a sad truth because for me on the other side, social media was giving me a career, first of all, but it was integral in me finding community and body positive spaces. So you really just kind of have to balance those voices and really understand media and media literacy and what you're consuming and how these algorithms work because it wants you to keep looking. It doesn't want you to scroll away. So they keep feeding you stuff and then you end up feeling like crap, which
Yeah.
is no good for you. So I would say find community and quiet those voices, whatever they are, that are telling you otherwise.
Be intentional. I think that's like obviously social media does good things. We've seen it here. But if you're not intentional about it and the algorithm, I don't think most people know this. You don't even have to like the video. If the algorithm sees that you're sitting on there watching this 1 minute video about whatever, maybe it's something that's like making you feel worse about yourself, the algorithm will give you more of that, even if you didn't like it, even if you didn't share it. So if
Mm-hmm.
you see it, it's not going to feel good. You just got to skip it.
Yep.
And that's going to tell the algorithm, oh, she doesn't like or he doesn't like to see that thing. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about how body positivity and weight loss can coexist. So you like I assume you still consider yourself to be body positive,
Though many in the body positive community would say otherwise.
right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's there's a tension there because a lot of people in the body positive spaces would say that intentional weight loss is wrong. I don't know where they get that from. I never really ascribe to that because my thing has always been bodily autonomy, even when I got into these spaces. We need to let people do what they want to do. And if they want to, go on an intentional weight loss journey, that's fine. Good for them. Body positivity for me is that all bodies are beautiful. Everyone has dignity, worth, and purpose. And the reason I was fat, obese, was complicated. You know, childhood trauma, genetics, um, medical issues I've had. And no matter what I did outside of the medication now, I could not lose the weight. It just, in the gym every day, on the trail, starving myself, um, which, then cycled into more eating disorder issues, and the weight wasn't coming off. So I can never judge anyone for the way their body is. It's not my
Mm-hmm.
place. So I hold that in one hand, whereas all bodies are good and beautiful and everybody is different and that's okay. On the other hand, it's like I am dealing with these medical issues. There are things I want to do. Is there a medical reason why I have these issues? Go to the doctor. We talk about GLP-1s. Okay, we can try it. And it worked. And I feel amazing. And both these things can be true. And that's okay. And if someone chooses for whatever reason, maybe their doctor suggests going on a GLP-1 or something, and they choose not to, that's okay. It's not my place to
Mm.
judge their journey. Um, it's not my place to say, well, no, you really should, or no. People have the right to choose what they think is best for them. I knew the second I made this choice that I would get flack for it in my circles, and I had to make the choice. Am I just going to be upfront and share this immediately, or I'm just going to wait till people start noticing? And I
Mm-hmm.
made the choice to be all right. I'm starting this. This is what's happening. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to like it. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest about this journey, but my values have not changed. And that's something I constantly say. My values haven't changed. I'm not saying you should or should not go on this. I'm saying if you'd like to, here are some resources for you. Go for it. Um, outside of the weight loss, just the medical changes in my body, blood pressure, sleep apnea, kidney issues, fatty liver are gone now. That's amazing. That if you think it might work for you, here are some resources for you. But at the same time, I still think, you know, outdoor gear companies and apparel companies need to carry plus sizes. That hasn't changed, nor will it. I think there needs to be more accessible spaces for plus size people. Um, and both things can be true. And I think we do need more people in the fitness spaces who are straight size, not fat. That's the word the body positive community uses for people who are not fat, straight size people. We need more straight size people advocating for body positivity and plus
Mm.
size. So we don't have all these fitness influencers shaming people all the time and understanding this is a hard journey. And I've met people who tried a GLP-1 and it didn't work for them. And it sucks. Absolutely. And that's okay though. Everyone is different, everybody is different, and everyone is the way they are for different reasons. And it's complicated and it's nuanced, but I go back to both things can be true. You can be body
Yeah.
positive in one hand, and I can be on a fitness weight loss journey in the other. And a lot of people think those things are diametrically opposed, but they're really not. They're parallel lines running to the same place, which is just being comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah. And I think one of the things you said, I think people really just generally as a culture, we need to realize this, or as people, we need to realize this. Every story is different.
Yep.
And I think what we do, it's so interesting because we just see someone, we look at their body and we decide something about them, but we
Hmm.
actually don't know anything about them just from
Yep.
like looking. Oh, it's the, I'm talking about this as if I've just made this up. It's like judging the book by its cover.
Yep.
We don't know, but yet we continue to do this. And I think that is one of the hardest things. Like I can't even come to your public facing Instagram where you talk a lot and you share a lot and you're very like public with the things you're going through and make decisions about you. Because
Hmm.
I'm not you. I don't live in
Yep.
there. You are the only one who can decide this. Another thing from your story that I am noticing is just this very intentional decision to stop people pleasing. And so I wanted to read this from your Instagram. When
Oh
did you
no.
write this? This was September. He wrote, "For most of my life, I was caught up in people pleasing. I said yes when I wanted to say no. I pushed myself into boxes that never fit because I thought that was what was expected of me. Over the last few years, through hiking, through healing, through learning to take care of my body and my mind, I have realized that freedom starts the moment you stop living for everyone else and start living for yourself. I have lost weight, yes, but what I have really lost is the need for everyone's approval, and what I have gained is the courage to show up for me." End quote. That's so powerful, Andy. Tell me about how like, that decision to show up for yourself, like, amidst all of it, like, everyone's crap at you, like, you're not doing it the right way, or you're doing it at all, or I can't believe that, like, how have you been able to do that? What's that experience like? How has that changed you personally as you've made this decision in the face of all of this negativity?
You're never gonna please everyone. And if you try to please when you're trying to please one person, there's another person that's gonna be made unhappy. And that's a weight you can't carry, and that's constantly gonna cause you depression and anxiety. And that's what it was doing for me. I'm trying to please every follower. I'm trying to please every brand. I'm trying to please people I'm working with. And I'm just unhappy. I'm not happy about any of this. And when I decided, you know what, forget this. I am going to do what's best for me. People can come along this journey if they want to. They don't have to. Um, because being thrust into the public spotlight like I was suddenly, nobody prepares you for that. And you have different voices telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to go here, you need to go there. Um, and you don't know what to do. You're like, okay, okay. And you get to this point where it's like nobody really knows what they're doing. Nobody really knows what they're talking about. So I'm just going to do what's best for me. I'm going to do what's best for me and my family and stop trying to please the random follower or this brand or even my management team. I'm done. I'm going to do what I know what's best for me. And if that pisses people off, I'm sorry. I can't change your opinion about me. Um, and for my own mental health, it's it's exhausting. It causes
Yeah.
so much anxiety. For years I dealt with anxiety attacks and panic attacks. Um, I would freeze and just not. People go into fight or flight, and I would just freeze.
Yeah.
Um, I was the third one, and it would just be like debilitating because I was so trying to keep everyone happy, trying to keep all these balls in the air, and I couldn't do it. And when I stopped doing that and started just being okay with me, I became so much of a better husband, so much of a better father, so much of a better advocate. And I just made decisions that were good for me.
Yeah.
Um, because it's nobody's business what I do with my body or, decisions I make for my family or our family makes together or what I do work wise or who I partner with. You can like it, you can not like it. That's fine. But I'm not here to make you happy. I hope that my content, what I do, and my stories I tell can encourage you, can enlighten you, can inspire you. And if they don't, you can unfollow. That's
Yeah.
okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's really, you're really not. And there's so many, I spent a lot of time with other influencers, VidCon, and you can always tell the ones who have been doing this for a while and they don't give a crap about what anyone else thinks, and the ones who are just trying to be at every meeting, be at every party, you know, and they're the ones who crash out in a year or two. And they
Yeah.
just, you hear these stories about people, they gain a million followers very, very quickly and they burn out and it's messy and it's horrible. And it's because they were trying to please everybody instead of taking care of themselves, taking care of their mental health, their physical health. And it's been, especially this last year, the best thing for me is just, I'm going to do what's best for me. And it doesn't, not just in, social media or people who are in public facing careers, but in your everyday life, you can't make everyone happy. There's going to be that person at work who doesn't like you for no reason. It's not your job to make them happy. Just,
Yeah.
it's your job to do your job. Neighbors, friends, whatever it is, you can't please everyone. And being a people pleaser is just going to make you not pleased with yourself. There's really no better way to put it because you never stop and ask yourself, what's best for me?
Yeah. I think it's easy. It might be a little easier said than done. So
Hmm.
for someone who's like, okay, this is it. I'm going to stop people pleasing. What's that first step you think?
Oh gosh. Realizing that you're doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's just recognizing the ways in your life that you are trying to people please. Um, because denying that you even have a problem, um, you'll never fix the problem.
Hmm.
So, first off, admit that there's an issue, and secondly, ask yourself who is it in my life that I really do care about, like people in my life who opinions are important to me. For me, it's my family, my wife, my daughter. They are like these are the people who I hold like I really care about what they think because they know me better than anybody.
Mm.
Beyond that, yeah, I have my management team. Their opinions are important to me, but there are times where I disagree with them. There are times when they were right. There are times when they were wrong. There are close friends of mine. Okay, they can agree and not agree. So hold those people dear. Find out who in your life do you really care about, and then ultimately ask yourself, what do I want? You know, it can be, I want this job, this whatever, or is I just want to be able to do something in my life that I don't dread showing up for at the office every day.
Mm.
Okay, so what are the steps you need to do that? And that's going to make some people unhappy. Um, that's going to make that's going to ruffle some feathers because when you start doing what's best for you, other people are like, wait, but what you were doing before was helping me out.
Yeah,
You were
right.
you
Yeah.
were what you not pleasing yourself was pleasing me. Can we fix this? No, you're gonna make some people upset, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be
Hmm.
okay with ruffling feathers. Um, and ultimately, you have to have an outlet for that, whether life coach, therapist, somebody who can guide you through that, who's kind of a third party. They can look at the 30,000 foot view and say, look objectively, they have no dog in the fight. They have, you know, no car in the race and be like, all right, here are some things I'm seeing. And for me, having a therapist was so important. Um, I just finished, I've had the same therapist 2.5 years. We just finished. Um, we hit all my treatment goals and we decided, okay, now's the time for us to stop. But for 2.5 years, I was on this journey with him where we were just kind of looking at my life, you know, what are some things you're doing that can help you with this anxiety, with the way you're feeling about life, the issues you're having with, trying to get mental health services for your children. Um, and just having that person look on the outside and be like, okay, here's what I see. I don't have a dog in the fight was so life changing for me. Um, and unfortunately for a lot of men, they don't want to admit they need to go to
Yeah.
therapy. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to, pull themselves up by their bootstraps and just get it done, which I get and I understand. But at the same time, you're just going to drive yourself in circles. You really
Yeah.
are.
I love what you have said on this podcast today, and I love what you do, especially in that space for men, because there aren't enough men saying, I go to therapy and it's okay. There's not enough men saying, I'm struggling with the way that I eat. I'm having body dysmorphia or an eating disorder. And I'm just thankful that you're in that space doing that as a mom raising little boys. That's who I hope they hear from, people like you. So thank you for doing that work.
Appreciate that.
Um, I wanted to say one thing before we go to the next question, which is I think also with the people pleasing, if you can have some kind of conviction about your decisions, it's a little easier to stick to your decision, know that it's the right thing for you because then you're not going to sway with every
Hmm.
person's voice who comes in. So I think that's an important element. And now I want to ask you my last question. This is a famous question, Andy. So prepare. What is your number one tip to finding more joy in the good, the bad, and the in between?
Oh goodness. Number one tip in finding joy in the good, the bad, the in between. For me, it's it's been going outside. I think you want to say, oh, it's family and this and that, and that's all important to me. But first started getting in the outdoors in late 2019. I was in an existential crisis. I was going to different therapists at the time before the pandemic. And she literally said, Andy, take a hike. And I did. And there is something to be said. I'm not saying you need to go for a hike, but there's something to be said for just getting away from the noise and being quiet in nature, wherever it is. I mean, I grew up in Las Vegas where, they have the desert out there. Desert's gorgeous. Here in Oregon, obviously, Lithia Park is 5-minute walk from my office here. Um, just getting where there's no people when things are great, when things are ugly, when things are bad, it just helps me connect with myself. Um, One of the first things I did after I went viral and I realized my life's about to change is I got in the car and drove to a spot at Mount Ashton where I knew there was no service, there was snow all over the ground, and I disappeared for 6 hours.
Mm.
And it was just like, my life's about to change. And when things go to crap, when I'm dealing with, you know, trying to get my kids mental health services they so desperately need, and I'm hitting wall after wall after wall, and I just want to scream, I get in my car, I hike up Table Rock, wherever, and I get alone in nature with myself, and I connect with myself, and I connect with nature. And that is, I know people are in different spaces, find a space where it's quiet, or you can connect with nature, whether you can hike, you can forest bathing, and just sitting by the river, by the ocean, in a park. It's so, I mean, study after study after study has shown how beneficial that is. And my wife even knows, like, if I'm in a bad mood, she's like, Andy, you need to go take a hike. And I don't take it personally when my wife says take a hike. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I do. And that for me is just being in nature in some way or capacity, being outside, turning off the cell phone, logging off, and just being still and quiet with yourself, has been like the thing for me.
Isn't it wild that we're so connected to each other on these devices, but when we use them all the time, we become disconnected with ourselves. And
Hmm.
it's not until we disappear on Mount Ashland for 6 hours that we are able to connect with ourselves.
And we're so
That,
addicted to it that I have to go to this place where I know there's not going to be service because I'll be so tempted to pick it up.
yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. Very good advice. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on the podcast today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Andy. I really love how authentic and vulnerable Andy always is. And I'll put his information in show notes. And don't forget to leave a rating. Please rate this podcast. That helps me continue to do this podcast. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for being here on Happiness in Progress.